Before we dive into today's video, I want to give you a quick recap of what we covered in the last one, because this story doesn't start here. In my previous video, we explored the rise of Evil Madoka and how she transformed into the terrifying ruler now known as Dread Empress Madoka. In that timeline, we asked a simple question: what if Madoka Kaname wasn't the savior, but the tyrant? And we followed her descent, from Homura's endless time loops to the erosion of Madoka's identity, to the moment she no longer saw herself as someone worth protecting, but someone who had to take control. We saw her rework her wish, no longer to save magical girls, but to own them. She began absorbing soul gem, memories, and emotions, not out of mercy, but out of domination. Her mother's cold ambition, her resentment toward Homura, and the torment of countless resets all twisted her into being fueled by power and pain. She didn't just want to stop suffering, she wanted to rewrite who gets to decide what suffering even means. We watched her corrupt Sayaka, break Mommy, manipulate Kyoko, and defeat Devil Homura, turning her into a puppet, while also creating her dark magical girl army. And finally absorbing Ultimate Madoka, erasing hope, and now she rules. If you haven't watched that video yet, I strongly recommend checking it out first. It gives you all the context you need to understand how we got here. But ever since that video dropped, I've seen one question keep popping up in the comments: who is Dread Empress Madoka? Some people thought she was just Madoka's witch form, Gretchen. Others weren't sure why I called her an empress. And a lot of people were curious. Why does she always have her tongue out? What's with the wink? Why does she pose like she's in a fashion shoot while magical girls are crying behind her? So I decided it's time to answer all that. This video is all about getting to know her, the aesthetic, the psychology, the theatrical cruelty, and what makes Dread Empress Madoka completely different from original Madoka and even her witch counterpart. So with that said, let's learn a little more about Dread Empress Madoka. Now, who is Dread Empress Madoka? Dread Empress Madoka is a dark alternative version of Madoka Kaname from Puella Magi Madoka Magica, but she's not just a corrupted magical girl. She is a theatrical tyrant, a vampiric idol of despair, and the twisted embodiment of everything Madoka tried not to become. She's a conqueror who doesn't just defeat magical girls, she performs their suffering and absorbs their essence and smiles for the imaginary camera while doing it. In this reimagined timeline, the gentle, self-sacrificing Madoka we knew is long gone. In her place stands a girl who was stripped of agency, identity, and dignity so many times that she decided the only way to protect herself was to become unbreakable. But her version of strength doesn't come from love anymore, it comes from domination. Her psychological origin, from hope to performance. Before we even get into her powers or looks, we need to understand why she became this way. Imagine being rewritten, reset, erased across dozens of timelines. Imagine being constantly told your life has purpose, only to find out it's just fuel for someone else's goal. That was Madoka's experience across Homura Akemi's countless time loops. She was loved, she was protected, she was elevated to divine status, but never allowed to truly choose. Eventually, Madoka became self-aware. She realized she was nothing but a symbol. A savior, yes, but a passive one. A soft figurehead who was never allowed to be angry, never allowed to be selfish, never allowed to say no. So she snapped, but she didn't become a monster overnight. Her transformation was theatrical, psychological, and deeply symbolic, and nowhere is that more obvious than in the wink that killed her past. One of Dread Empress Madoka's most iconic traits is her signature wink. usually paired with her tongue sticking out and a smug little grin. It's cute, it's playful, it's flirty, but it's also a lie, a mask, a weapon, and a wound that never fully healed. It happened during her descent, her personal war against everything she used to be. She had already made her choice to kill her past, and that meant destroying everyone who once defined her. Homura, her father, her little brother, and finally, her mother. It was a brutal confrontation, not just emotionally, but physically. A symbol of love and strength twisted into resistance. Her mother fought back. A vase shattered. Glass flew. One shard cut across Madoka's eye. It wasn't fatal. She could have healed it instantly, but she didn't, because a part of her didn't want to. That injury wasn't just skin deep. It represented everything she was walking away from. Her compassion, her innocence, her resistance, her restraint, the hesitation she felt before killing her mother. That moment of weakness haunted her, so she kept the pain as punishment, as proof. Later, Sayaka and Kyoko noticed something odd. Is your eye okay? Madoka just smiled, stuck her tongue out, and winked. What? I'm just winking at you, silly. And from that day forward, she owned it. The wink became more than a gesture. It became her signature, her brand. Every time she lifted a magical girl into the air by her black string, every time she posed beside a crying soul like it was a photo shoot, every time she taunted Goddess Madoka, mimicking that reverent prayer pose with a cheeky peace sign, every action she would wink, not just to be smug, not just to be cute, but to mock everything she once believed in. It was to say, this is who I am now. Watch me smile through your suffering and smile through my own. It's how she hides what still hurts. It's how she rewrote the meaning of feminine grace into something cruel and theatrical, because deep down that eye still stings. The wink isn't just an expression, it's a scar, it's a mask, it's a performance of power stitched together with trauma. It mocks her past, it mocks her victims, it even mocks herself. So the next time you see her flash that little grin and wink at the camera, remember, she's not smiling at you, she's smiling through you. And somewhere behind that wink is the girl she never forgave herself for being. She wants you to see her. She wants you to ask, what happened to me? So she can make you feel stupid for caring. Because the truth is, if anyone did care, if anyone did try to reach her again, she wouldn't know what to do. So she mocks the possibility. She clowns on her own pain before anyone else can. She turns the camera on herself and poses like she's the villain in a magical girl dating sim. Performance over pain. Smile so no one looks too long at the wound. Pose so no one dares to get close enough to see her flinch. And if she's ever not smiling, that's how you know you're in trouble. Run. Dread Empress Madoka doesn't just rule the magical girl world, she haunts it.